I've been told on the internet amongst debates over free speech that I need to learn more about Islam. If I just read the Quran, I'd have a different opinion. Well, I did. And the exact opposite turned out to be true. The more I read, the more distasteful I found it. And that is putting it mildly. What is Islam? Islam is redundant, false, another poorly written, ambiguous attempt from the past to limit and constrain the minds of the present, provoking fear and violence in the name of peace. The Quran is the most unimpressive book I've ever read. Dull, tedious, monotonous, other words synonymous with boring. It certainly doesn't seem like the work of a brilliant, glorious, all-knowing, omnipotent God by any stretch of the imagination. My 9-year-old nephew could write a better book than this. Muslims, instead of wasting your time venerating Muhammad, singing praise and describing his virtue, how about taking an unflinching, critical examination of the Quran? You've been duped for over 1,400 years. It's time you used common sense to get a true look at the Quran and Muhammad. The glorified fairy tale imagined in the minds of Muslims since childhood is simply not true. You should know some facts. To quote an ex-Muslim who came to the light of truth and knowledge, it is an evil, barbaric ideology which has no place in this 21st century civilized world. Islam is a bogus religion. Muhammad and Quran have nothing to do with any god. Let us begin. Let's go over some of the errors that Allah and Muhammad made in the Quran, shall we? Let's see. Wrong. Many things reproduce asexually, such as bacteria, protists, fungi, plants, even some amphibians. This simple dualism is proving that this was written by the exact opposite of an all-knowing God, since even most children know this fact. This should be self-explanatory. The earth was not created before the universe. That doesn't even make sense on a basic level, unless you thought that the heavens were just a glass ceiling or a myriad of glass spheres or whatever the hell else the ancients used to believe. Error alert, error alert, error alert. Mary was never worshipped as a god or goddess by the Christians. The Holy Trinity consists of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or Spirit. No, dum-dum. Stars are not missiles that go after devils. Stars have nothing to do with missiles. This is just flat out dum-da-dum-dum-da-dum-dum-da-dum-dum-da-dum-dum. The only question is, who's the dumb one here, Muhammad or Allah? Well, given that Allah isn't real, I'd have to say Muhammad. Once again, back to the earth being created before the heavens, i.e. universe. First, the Holy Quran says 6 days, then, mathematical error, 754, it says heaven, universe was created in 6 days. According to 41:912, it took 8 days. 2 plus 4 plus 2 equals 8 days. Okay, now we get into some of the more disgusting aspects of the Quran. The right hand possesses refers to slaves and prisoners of war, women who are passed around to the Muslim warriors. This legalizes sex of a master with a slave or female prisoner of war. This is a license to rape helpless women. Where was the merciful and just Allah then? This is another prime example of how Muhammad and his cohorts used non-Muslim women as sex slaves. Muhammad was as guilty as they were in this criminal act. Again, right hand possesses are slaves or captive women. The Quran is saying that even if these girls are married, she is yours now, and you can fuck her. And that's, well, fucking pathetic. Here's another example which illuminates how sex-crazy Muhammad and his buddies were using women as sex objects. Well, thank God I don't believe in him, or especially Allah, because this passage is allowing for marriage and sex with prepubescent girls. Lovely. This is saying that no Muslim woman should complain if her husband beats her, because that's the right her Allah has given to him. This should be considered a warning to any women who are considering, contemplating, thinking of becoming Muslim. The Quran makes it clear, women are worth half as much as men. They are not equal. No Muslim woman should complain about it, for this is what Allah says. One man equals two women when it comes to witness. There's also some fucking blatant plagiarism in the Quran. Like this, which can be found in the Torah or Talmud, which is one of the Jewish sacred texts. You find this clear example of this virtue of human life found in Mishnah. This Mishnah describes the warning given to witnesses in capital cases to be very careful in their testimony. Why did God create all of mankind out of one single person? To teach you that whoever destroys one life is considered as if he had destroyed the entire world, and whoever saves one life is considered as if he had saved the entire world. That sounds familiar. It sounds mighty similar to anyone who slew a person, unless it be for murder or spreading mischief in the land, it would be as if he slew the whole people, and if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of the whole people. You might hear this quoted to you quite often by Muslims as an example of how merciful and just their religion is, when really it's just a ripoff of Hebrew texts that came hundreds and hundreds of years before the Quran was written. In fact, the Bible, all of it, First and New Testament, came quite a long time before the Quran was written. The other thing is there's a lot of hate mongering in this in the Quran, which I find incredibly poignant given all the hate I've received on the internet and all the denial of hate and statements claiming, no, it's a religion of peace. Wah, we can't handle criticism. Wah, well, here's a good fucking idea. Your fucking sacred holy text that you hold so dear to your fucking hearts, instead of making it public, releasing it to the world, allowing everybody to read it and therefore criticize it, why don't you just do like some other religions and keep it fucking secret? Just the priests read it. That way you stop dumb people from constantly reinterpreting it to fit their own agendas. Like many fucking pagan religions did. By writing something down, you are opening it up to criticisms and critiques. For instance, the ancient Druids, their religious beliefs were passed down orally. You want to know why it was passed down orally from teacher to pupil? Because writing it down would open it up to critiques and criticisms. They didn't want their shit to be criticized, so they kept it in their heads. But no, you wanted to go ahead and write down your shit in a fucking book. Guess what? Not only did you want to write down your shit in a fucking book, you wanted to pass it around to everybody. And what? You expected everyone to just automatically agree? Agree with everything in it? Just agree. Yeah, I'm not going to keep going with that. You guys are fucking ridiculous. Here's where it gets especially disgusting. Muhammad had sex with Aisha at age 9 when he was 54. That would make him a sexual predator, a pedophile in this day and age. Pedophile. Sorry, too much British television. Oh, but Henry, it was a different time back then, a different culture. Yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying. Why on Allah's green earth would you be following a book written by a pedophile from 1400 years ago? Why? It was a different time, a different culture. We've evolved since then, done things like gone to the moon, sent satellites into deep space. We have cell phones, cars, computers. If Allah and Muhammad, Jesus, were so fucking great, why didn't they predict any of this and adjust their teachings to fit future generations? How come neither one of them have come down and written a new book for this culture in this day and age? Why hasn't God or Allah recreated any of the miracles from the Quran or the Bible? Too many whys and not enough fuck this, it makes no sense. And from my point of view, brings nothing but ignorance and suffering. Most of you don't even believe this. I know, because I used to be one of you as a child. Nevertheless, you suppress your doubt, stuff it deep down inside, pretend it's not there. Then some asshole like me has to come along and remind you that you don't actually believe this. For most of you, your parents believed, your families believed, you were pressured, forced into conforming to something that you knew wasn't right, just like they were. But given enough time, enough denial, enough indoctrination and brainwashing, you just capitulate to the weaker side of analytical despair, turning off your passions, dulling your life, ignoring the tragedies that surround you by pretending that you don't share some modicum of responsibility. You become apathetic, subdued, getting up every morning, going to work. Who are you? Is the only joy you feel sitting in a pew, kneeling on a rug, bowing in adoration of something that you can't see, hear, taste, or touch? Giving away your money to someone who 9 times out of 10 only sees you as a fucking paycheck? A dollar bill? Your life becoming dull and gray, but hey, at least eternity will be great. So for now, I'll sit in abject silence, apathetic despair caused by the gut-wrenching certitude of my conviction. Bury your will. Hide your individuality. Look around you. Look at what you surround yourself with. The symbols and imagery, the music, the special religious movies, constantly reading the book, the people around you. It's not because you love reading the Bible, the Quran so much. It's not because religious movies are so well shot and edited. It's because you know if you step out of your bubble of self-produced propaganda, the doubt will start to creep in, like holding back the tide of an ocean with flimsy cardboard and duct tape. And with the doubt comes the fear, and with that, uncertainty. If you were not afraid of death, of losing your loved ones, would any of this even matter? Almost all negative human behavior stems from fear. Do you do this for love or out of fear? Would you even know the difference? Personally, I believe you deserve better than the Quran, the Bible. I believe you deserve personal freedom. I believe that if Allah, God, was real, He would want you to be happy and live a good, decent, just life, more than He would want your bowing, scraping, sacrificial faith out of some sort of childish jealousy. Do you really believe if there was a being capable of all you attribute to Him, He would give 2 fucks about any of this petty bullshit? No, because if there is such a powerful and divine being, He obviously had nothing to do with the trash written in either of the aforementioned so-called holy books. This is a prime example of how if you repeat a lie long enough, it becomes truth, no matter how absurd, irrational, or harmful. I'm Henry Sweets. Peace in the Middle East, and fuck me, right?
I never wanna be a stupid seed, waiting for the green grass to grow over me, waiting for the death I sing all day. Never talk God, I'll never pray. Like I never loved you, leave you dead. I saw myself, I thought I said, hold me like a sea, hold me like a sea, love me like a sea, love me like a sea. Never let the green grass grow over me. Never saw a God, I'm gonna breathe. Never let the dead love you till I'm dead. Never let me see, you know what I said.